Good morning. On behalf of Rescuing Our Communities Initiative, I am here today with another informative, Good morning. On behalf of our Rescuing Our Communities Initiative, I am Clayton here today with part two of how of exposing the NYPD's role to violate my civil rights for a local woman out of Staten Island who was my ex-girlfriend and who had falsified information against me in order to circumvent the decision of the family court, which granted me a lifetime restraining order to keep her away from not only myself but my infant daughter, whom she had assaulted, which is a fact. Um, People, it was a this has really been a really this has been a real nightmare for me. Excuse me. I'm trying to set my security settings up. It's so annoying. It really is. Let me just figure this out real quick. Right, because I like to see my full screen when I restart. Good morning. So we are to here today for part two of exposing the NYPD's role in the conspiracy to violate my civil rights that occurred amongst amongst Safe Horizon, the NYPD, and the Richmond County District Attorney's Office. Conspiracy is a horrible, horrible thing to have to live to, people. When you actually have the legality of the law behind you, I am messing up today. Let me get it right, people. When you actually have the legality of the law behind you and malicious prosecutors who want to violate your civil rights decide that you don't deserve to be a victim, so what they do is they frame you using fraudulent evidence to conspire against you, people, you have a big problem. And I can show you that for a fact as a man who has been horribly falsely reported by the Staten Island District Attorney's Office and the NYPD of Staten Island. Oh God, people, I was at such a place. I really was. I was so angry, people. I was hurt because a lot of the people involved in this were people I knew. And because I didn't happen to be the person in power at the time, my ex-girlfriend was a lot smarter than me. She was a lot better connected. I was just left to the wayside, people. I was literally abandoned and totally betrayed because, I was a black man. I was the victim. And the district attorney of Staten Island and police don't believe black men should be victims. They believe black men can only be offenders, people. That is a fact. Black men can only be offenders on Staten Island amongst the NYPD in the Richmond County District Attorney's Office. People, this was horribly unfortunate because I did so much legally and correctly and respectfully to do the right thing. But people, again, I was a black man. I wasn't worthy of the respect of these white men, these biased women in law enforcement. I wasn't worthy of that, people. I've said something a couple of months ago, and some black people, women did attack me. But the greatest enemy to a black man nowadays is not racism in white people. It's not. The greatest enemy to a black man is honestly a vengeful, spiteful black women, and there are a lot of them out there. See, women have realized their power in society due to the women's suffrage and women's rights, etc. On top of that, a lot of women have become highly successful, and they have bonded together to fight for the rights of all women with proper intention behind those rights, because men and women do deserve the same rights. The problem has become is you have some women who do not have the same ethical, or I want to say, character as these noble women who fought for the rights of women before them, so these women could have equal rights. You have some low level, pathetic women who use the hard work of women before them to gain the rights and the respect that women are supposed to have. You have people who use the rights and legality that was afforded to women who were victims of domestic violence, that were giving to these domestic violence victims to protect them because law enforcement was violating their rights in the past. You have some low-level, unethical women like my ex-girlfriend who choose to utilize the systemic racism and bias in law enforcement when it comes to attacking a minority male. This is what happened to me on Staten Island when a detective by the name of Joseph Quirk of the 120 precinct decided to frame me for allegations in response to me winning a New Jersey final restraining order against my ex-girlfriend. I had about an hour and a half broadcast about this. You can see part one of exposing the NYPD's role in conspiring to frame me, which occurred last night. Today we have a brief part two, which corrects some of the things that happened yesterday because we had a horrible technical difficulty in the middle of it, kind of threw me off. So I kind of wanted to go over those aspects that got thrown off because, again, people, it's about exposing the truth, and we can't give these people a way out at all. you give them a way out, they're going to try to pretend as though they made a mistake. And no mistake was made in my framing. It was a conscious action. It wasn't manifested, people. It was well thought out. It was step-by-step plan. I was locked out of every aspect of the domestic violence advocacy system at the lowest levels to the level of the prosecutor. When a victim is awarded a domestic violence restraining order, whether temporary or final, there are levels to the system that are put in place to help this victim attain the justice they deserve. Domestic violence has specific advocates to help them called DV advocates. The job of a DV advocate, is to help you out financially by helping you get the resources of the state if you need them. Many times women in domestically abusive situations, the man is the primary breadwinner. So these women will need things like shelter, food service for the child, etc. All of that's understandable. But the whole purpose of a domestic violence advocate is to help domestic violence victims deal with the trauma and the process of the domestic violence judiciary process. Domestic violence advocates are not supposed to work with domestic violence offenders to frame the victims because they happen to be friends of theirs. This is what happened to me with my ex-girlfriend, Francina Evans, who is heavily connected on Staten Island. The women that work in these advocacy offices, knowing Francina Evans and her good church girl evidence, they automatically went against Clayton Howard. I must be a horrible, horrible tyrant of a man because she had a few text messages where I cursed at her. Now, see, something, and I have to say this again, in domestic violence, in domestic relationships at all, people will argue and fight. Some people argue and fight without profanity. Some people don't argue and fight at all. They just don't communicate. But there's usually some form of communication with real couples when they have problems. As long as that communication doesn't get violent and abusive, it's not domestic violence. Improper language is not abuse. It is abuse. If both parties are cursing each other out, they're both verbally abusing each other. But one party shouldn't be charged for using profanity and the other party not charged for using profanity simply because that party is the guy that the district attorney's office wants to arrest. Now, last night, let's get down to business, people. We don't want to talk too long. Last night, I showed you this document, which is the actual discovery packet submitted by Detective, Joseph Quirk, on May 17th, the day after I was detained, because remember, I was detained for the false arrest of Francina Evans that was filed December 5th, 2022. I was detained 5 months later after interacting with Courtney Upshaw, after interacting with Courtney Chase, advocates from the DA's office who knew I was innocent. I was arrested May 16th for the December 5th report of Francina Evans alleging that I filed false reports on her in the state of New Jersey. Detective Joseph Quirk is a skilled racist and conspirator. He does understand his job to the capacity that he knew that arresting me for allegations that occurred in the state of New Jersey was totally illegal. See, New York and New Jersey and all states have something what's known as the legal tenet of territorial jurisdiction. What does territorial jurisdiction mean? Territorial jurisdiction, I want my audience to see my face because I'm teaching right now. Territorial jurisdiction means that the territory to which an offense happens is where the jurisdiction to prosecute it exists. What that means is if you commit a robbery in, we're going to use Staten Island because that's what we're talking about. If you commit a robbery in Staten Island, the victim can't go to Essex County, New Jersey and report you if Staten Island doesn't prosecute you because the crime happened in Staten Island. Staten Island has the territorial jurisdiction, the mandate of law to prosecute that charge, and a victim cannot take it to another jurisdiction because Staten Island either doesn't prosecute or they're acquitted. Joseph Quirk knew that because Joseph Quirk knew I had been acquitted in Newark. So he couldn't charge me for making false statements if his victim got defended. So he had to get creative. What Joseph Quirk did, now I can minimize the screen. I'd like to show my audience what Joseph Quirk did to me. So what he did to me, people, is he filed this false complaint against me from December 5th of 2022. Let's go there first. Here's the complaint. Remember, he's been making false complaints. I called her and told her if I can't have you, no one can. The day she got convicted, people, a child could have figured out this girl was lying. But see, a racist in his capacity to be racist and corrupt, this is enough for him to move on an innocent black man that he wants to prosecute. So he doesn't investigate any of this. He doesn't check the order of protection against her. He just goes 2 days later, people. Remember, I told you my ex-girlfriend has the fastest domestic violence response time in the history of a victim of domestic violence who has never been physically assaulted. When you're physically assaulted, of course, the cops come. The cops put a warrant on the person immediately. When a crime is committed against you, of course, people, it's obvious. The cops throw a warrant or an I-card on the person immediately. People, how did Francina Evans report? A phone call she could not reprove, and allegations that she had been convicted of in the state of New Jersey. And less than 48 hours later, if you look at the document in front of you, there's an I-card for my arrest. People, usually when you file a police report, you need 3 or 4 days just to get a report number, 2 or 3 days. Let's be fair to the police and say they give you a report number in 24 to 48 hours, which everyone who has ever filed a police report knows I'm telling the truth. That's a damn lie. It takes them 3 weeks to 5 days to get you a complete report. The next thing you have to do is you have to be assigned to a detective. When you're assigned to a detective, of course, he has other things on his desk, people. He can't just jump to your case if it's a non-violent case and not that serious and circumvent the murders and all of the other stuff going on. He has to deal with your case in the order it was received. So if you're lucky, maybe the detective sees your case because they throw it on the stack of cases he gets at the start of his day. And maybe he sees your name there, decides to call you, looks at the evidence, and issues an I-card and does what he's supposed to do. People, at a maximum, that's going to take a week. How did Francina Evans have a warrant against me in 48 hours after she was convicted of violating the New Jersey Prevention of Domestic Violence Act? Clearly, that shows you that there was some hierarchy involved in this that rushed her through the process in order to put that order of protection on me fast. Because remember, people, the no contact order of protection she had in the state of New Jersey, when her case was dismissed on December 1st, 2022, so was the order of protection. So now any claims Francina had that I was the defendant, poof, the order of protection got dismissed. Staten Island needed to protect themselves. So here's what they did. They arrested me they put an I-card on me on December 7th of 2022. And then on May 16th, I was arrested for this I-card for allegedly harassing Francina Evans. Here is the discovery submitted on the 17th while I was in the 120 because they kept me there and didn't process my paperwork for 3 days just to make me suffer. They left me in the precinct 3 days and pretended like they left my paperwork. But just by the date of this discovery, I know they didn't leave my paperwork. They purposely left me in the cell to say, fuck me, because I had won against Francina, and they're going to pay for it. People, this is about justice. The Staten Island 120 precinct in the Richmond County DA's office wronged me, and I want justice. So as you see, that's Mike McMahon. This is the detective's statement. Now, I went back to this statement, people, for a reason, and I went right back to this part for Joseph Quirk's statement that I tried to show my audience yesterday. Now, audience, yesterday, you'll remember that I started this by telling you that the statements of this detective. This detective says the opponent is informed by Francina Evans that on March 18th, 2022, the defendant sent informant messages stating, I'm going to show you true pain and I'm going to put your naked pictures up, causing the informant to suffer fear for her safety, physical safety, and as well as annoyance and alarm. Now, and people, in the text message that I'm showing you back here, there's no threat for this woman's physical safety. And I'm going to show you how this detective flatly lied in two of these allegations up here this morning. Watch. By the time at the end of this broadcast, you're going to know for a fact that this detective lied on me. So this is the first piece of discovery. And the problem we had yesterday is my screen crashed and I lost all of the stuff I had. So now, people, remember, I was trying to show you yesterday based off this. Let's read the statements first. Francina Evans is the darker color. I'm the lighter color. People, this was a heated argument that it was extending off the assault of my child and the fact that she had robbed me for this dog and was refusing to return it to me because she felt that because she dated me for 6 months, I didn't deserve any of my personal property back, nor did I deserve to have my peace of mind. And I'm going to show you in the Facebook messages that she literally tells me when I tell her to give me back the dog, she says, what about my time? I'm not going to get that, meaning that I don't deserve my actual dog back because I dumped her and she feels she wasted time dating me, so she's going to keep everything I gave her. And I'm going to show you that. So take my pics down. I say that. She says, oh no, she says take her pics down. People, I didn't have no pics of her. When I broke up with this girl, I was done with her. I'm going to show you true pain and hate. I said that to her, people. I was pissed off. She had robbed me. She was literally shitting on me this entire conversation because she was mad. I didn't want to be with her and I wanted my dog back. And I'm about to show you. Take my sweater down. People, she starts claiming that the stuff that I showed you for the business I owned and paid for was hers because I didn't want her. And I showed everybody I owned that business. It was mine. I can show you receipts where I was paying the bills for the business. I can show you inventory receipts where I was buying merch for the business. People, I owned 50% of the company. It doesn't matter if she felt she came up with the concept legally. Legality wise, I was the legitimate 50-50 owner of that business. She did not have the right to do this. But when the cops are on your side because they're racist and corrupt, as a black woman, you can do whatever you want to the nigga you date. And that's what Francina did because she was working with the racism in law enforcement to attack her boyfriend, who was actually the victim, ex-boyfriend. So I say, I'm going to put your naked pictures up. She laughs. Thank God I never sent you any because I don't send nudes. I'll have a camera, remember? You got in the shower a few times, though. Thought I was playing with you. What a creep. So she calls me a creep. Now, people, I'm a creep. But you need to see something, people. I'm a creep. But the truth of the matter is, people, I didn't say that blankly. People, the reason why I threatened her with those pictures is because the girl had lied through her teeth on me, and I was getting death threats 5 o'clock in the morning from people who knew her, threatening me for a business I freaking owned, people, because she lied in this text message, which she came out with March 1st of 2022, and said this. First, she takes a picture from when I never even dated her, when I had an Achilles surgery, from when I got assaulted upon the death of my mother. This is me in Newark Airport flying to Tampa about a week after I had surgery on my left Achilles heel. She takes this post and she puts it up and she says that I'm going to read the post. Never mix business and relationships. Find someone that likes you for you and not your brand. Our relationship began with me trying to help him heal, and now that we are through, he is literally stealing my brand that I have been building for the past 5 years. He disabled my Relentless Body website and is now taking measures to steal my corporation. So please do not report this. Report his alias account also, please. So she does this to me, people, because she doesn't want anybody who knows that I'm in the fitness circle and health food circles to buy or do any business with me, especially on Staten Island, because she feels like she's the queen of Staten Island. So what she does is she puts this post up, and these dry, cocksucking, piece of crap people that know her start literally trashing me online. And people, this is a complete lie. Actually, let's open up another screen real quick because I like to go back to back on people. I actually enjoy that. So let's go back to back. Let's go back to back, audience. Let's go back to back and let's show you what time it really is with Francina Evans. So people, remember, here's the business. I'm going to show you, people. I was the 50% owner of the business. Clayton Howard, Francina Evans. We were both 50-50 owners. So this text message, what did I do with it, people? So this text message right here, is it true? There's no way I could have stole a business, people, from her and been trying to steal her brand if I legally owned the business, people. I wasn't trying to make her sign her shares over at all. I wasn't thinking about it. And I'm going to even show you that I was willing to give her the business just to give me back my dog and go about her goddamn life. But people, she was so obsessed with me, she refused. So let's keep going through these comments because I want to show everybody. So we do this recap. You see this clown Ronti Olagunki at the top. I'm so sorry, family. This is ridiculous. See, people, this is what men do nowadays. Thirsty men who want your women. They wait and watch their Instagram account. And the second they see that woman post emotional response about you and the woman break up, clown, thirsty dudes like Ronti Olagunki jump in their DM box and play like they got sympathy for them to get a conversation with a girl who would never talk to his ass unless she was going through this. That's what Ronti Olagunki did to me, someone who was in the 5th grade with this bastard. What he did to me was totally betray me and start trying to work on my ex, hoping that he liked his bald-headed fat self and would date him. So Ronti totally betrayed me. Let's keep going. Like I said, people, I was getting threats from all these people. Threats 3-4 o'clock in the morning, insults. I was getting phone calls 5:05 a.m. You see the call at the top, that was 5:05 a.m. People, I was getting calls 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning for weeks after Francina put this post up. But that was okay, people, because I was her black ex-boyfriend. And guess what, people? In the eyes of the law, I must deserve it. So let's go back here. So because of that post, people, and the arguments and the fact she wasn't talking to the dog. Clearly, the language between me and this woman wasn't good. So this date here, although Detective Quirk uses March 8th, Detective Quirk uses March 18th for a reason. And I realized it last night. Now, people, I'm going to do another video about a detective from the 123 by the name of Michael LeVay. Michael LeVay is the first detective on Staten Island to frame me for Francina Evans. He falsified a complaint with the complaints from the 123 precinct to get me arrested for allegedly violating Francina Evans. Now, people, Michael LeVay put a warrant on me on 8/1. Michael LeVay put a Y card on me because he alleged that I violated the new temporary order of protection Francina Evans had when I responded to a text message. She contacted me on Facebook and asked her to leave me alone. So Michael LeVay drafted a complaint against me. He tried to arrest me, but I reported him to IAB, and a detective sergeant by the name of Michael Ming was assigned to the case. Michael Ming was not a white man racist. He was a just investigator, and when he looked into the case with me and Francina regarding the 123 precinct, he immediately saw misconduct. He says, wait a minute, how are you arresting this guy for responding to a text message that she tagged him in, and she has a no contact order of protection? So Michael LeVay was brought before IAB for an investigation. Now, I couldn't be arrested for this case because technically speaking, he was being investigated for racial profiling. And audience, I'm so real, I got Michael LeVay shit right here. Hold on, because I was going to upload it yesterday, but I didn't. I thought I did. I actually know I do, people. Bear with me 1 second, because I know I have it here. I was going to upload it yesterday. I just, last minute, I changed my mind because Michael LeVay is a whole video himself. So I decided yesterday, I said, you know what? We'll wait, and we'll just do the whole live cast about Michael LeVay, which it looks like we're going to do it. And in that podcast with Michael LeVay, I'm going to show you that I reported Michael LeVay for racial profiling. This is what happened. So remember, audience, like I said yesterday, an I-card was issued for Francina Evans, and it had been issued since August of 2022. So what they did was, I believe, Detective Quirk used the old allegations from the complaint and the arrest attempt of Michael LeVay, which had been dismissed for racial profiling, to re-arrest me in the 120 like it was a new allegation. That's what happened. And people, I realized that yesterday talking to you guys, and I'm going to show you how I realized it. Remember, Detective Quirk tells you that I made this statement on March 18th. It's right here. He says I made this statement March 18th. People, yesterday I discovered some really, really interesting crap, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Oh, okay. Let's go back to the business, people. I showed you. Babe, you did not have to send me $80. Thank you. I'm so looking forward to building this store together so we can get a bag together. A bag for my audience who doesn't understand Ebonics and urban slangs. She's telling you, baby, I'm so happy that we're building a business together, and I can't wait for us to reap the financial benefits together. People, she told you I all stole this business. Why are there text messages where she's confirming that she and I own the business and we're splitting the profits? I'm also excited for the process of it. I'm always learning from you, and I love that. It's always another way for us to promote wellness in the community. People, this girl was full of it. She's a pathological liar. But we're going to keep going, people, because, again, the whole point of this is not to bash her, people. She's a pawn. So I can forgive a lot of the stuff she did, even though I will never talk to her. People, she was a pawn used by racists. And I'm going to expose the true players and not the pawn, people, because she was just a pawn. Okay, so let's go back. Here it is. Remember the date, March 18th. Now, audience, this is the complaint Francina filed against me for allegedly filing those naked pictures. Remember, I told you they were used in a prior attempt to arrest me by Michael LeVay from the 123 precinct. And that I-card had to be dismissed because Michael LeVay was investigated for racial profiling for what he did to me when he refused to arrest Francina Evans, even though she contacted me and was trying to arrest me for responding and asked her to leave me alone. And when I show you the video about Michael LeVay, I'm going to show you all of this, people, the text message, the Instagram tags, all of this I sent to the detective. People, this racist white man refused to arrest me. He had to arrest Francina. He had to arrest me. People, it was proof she contacted me. I had the Instagram tag report. I had the message that came from her tag where I said, leave me alone. You should be ashamed of yourself. People, I had to go to jail for that, people, because they were mad I got my dog back. So as you see from this complaint here, it's dated March 18th of 2022, people. The day allegedly I violated Francina and sent her these text messages. Now, let's go back to the text messages, because now we're going to get to the nitty gritty. Now, yesterday I was trying to show you on my Facebook Messenger app what this was by using the statement I'm going to show you true pain and hate to pull up those messages in my Facebook account to prove what was going on, why I would have gotten so mad I said something like that. I'm not saying this right, ladies, because I know the women out there are going to judge me. Oh my God, he said he's going to put naked pictures of her. I'm going to tell you something, women. Sometime in a relationship, a partner could get so foul and do something to you that so damages your credibility that you have to take measures to get them to stop. And I had to take some type of measure to get this woman to take this lying post down, because I was getting death threats from the post. The police wouldn't do anything to her, even though I had ownership papers for the business, even though I had text messages like what I just showed you, where she's admitting to the financial complicity between the both of us. People, that wasn't good enough. I was a black man on Staten Island with a black girlfriend who was connected to the white power structure of Staten Island. So people, I was screwed. As you can see, I'm going to show you true pain and hate. I said that to her. Now, people, we're going to do a screen share. Let's do a screen share. Facebook, share. Perfect. As you can see, let me check my audience. Make sure y'all good. Make sure my audience is good. Y'all are. I want to go perfect. I like that. That one's good. So this is my Facebook Messenger account. And this is the message of Francina Evans. If everyone can see, and I hope you can. Why would you do that to me? Crap. Okay, I can't X out of that. Here we go. So people, the yellow you see, and I just want to make sure the audience sees it. The yellow you see here on the screen, the yellow. Okay, yeah, that's cool. The yellow you see on the screen. Okay, you do see it. Perfect. The yellow you see on the screen here is the comment I made to Francina Evans. Let's scroll up. Now, see, people, we were actually arguing over the dog. As you can see, she's mentioned in my chat. People, we were arguing like a motherfucker this day because she had robbed me. So I'm actually trying to show you one thing that happened here. I'm trying to show you the date these texts originated, because that's important, people. Because remember, Detective Quirk says I said that to her on March 18th, and people know I didn't. That's actually from far before that, and I want to show you. Perfect. I think I just saw it. Hold on, people. I saw a date, but I need the date to be solidified. And what they keep doing here is like there we go. So people, if everyone can see that there, and I don't know if you can, at the gray on that screen right there, where this arrow is on the screen, and I hope everybody can see it, that at the top of the screen. Let me see if I can blow it up, because I need to make sure my audience can see this before we go any further. Let me see if I can blow this up for you guys, because guys, this is important. This is really, really important. And I'm doing my best to show you how important this is. Why did you just do that? Is that too small now? Show me the damn date? I think it is. Wow, that sucks, people. All right, we're going to go back. When it gets small, it doesn't show you this. I hate this app. They need to fix this shit. Yeah, people, I'm right. Or maybe it actually does. Let me try this one more time. As I got bigger, it went up. So maybe if I just scroll up, it did. So, people, I want you to see that. If you can see, that's March 13th of 2022. It's not March 18th, people. We had this conversation during a one-day argument on March 13th, 2022, where me and her was going at it over the dog. And as you can see from me scrolling up just a little bit, I'm going to show you this on March 13th, 2022. And I ask that you read it. Look, March 13th, 2022, 1:03 p.m. You fucked up. Yo, I'll cause you more tears in your life than you ever imagined. This is me. I said this, people. I was pissed. She had robbed me. She broke in my house, robbed me, and was threatening to tell the mother of my child she assaulted my child. On top of that, she had literally waged war on me by lying on me to social media, so I was getting death threats in the morning. And people, you see that on March 4th, I told her to give back the dog, and I'm going to show you again. This is March 13th. Let's go back real quick, because that's March 13th. Nope. That's March 13th. This message here, she put this up March 1st. This Instagram message went up March 1st. You might not be able to see it because the screen, but it's down here. It went up on March 1st in 2022. And then lastly, we go to this screen where you see at the top, March 4th, 2013. So people, let's go back to Facebook and we see, oh, actually none of that came up because the screen share is on. Okay, that sucks. Let's stop the screen sharing. Let's go back here. And as you see, people, March 4th, 2013, to March 4th, 2022. So this is exactly 2 weeks before that text message was ever sent where I did say something bad to her about her naked pictures. This has gotten really bad. Can we please? I'm the blue, she's the gray. Excuse me. This has gotten really bad. Can we please, people, please, peacefully handle Shorty, Shorty's the dog, and just amicably go our separate ways? Are you gonna surrender my company? You gonna reimburse me as Shorty got shit to do with that? Speaking of that, speaking of the dog, I just walked my name off the business, people. In response to that, she asked me again, am I gonna take my business off the dog? Like I showed you last night, people, that was clear-cut criminal coercion. When your business partner robs you for your property and tries to force you to sign over the legal shares of your business for the property they stole. People, that's criminal coercion. Staten Island wouldn't arrest her though. So let's go back here and let's do another screen share so we can get back on track. So people, we were arguing about the dog. So here we go back to that screen. So you see, people, everything Clayton's saying legit. I tell her you fucked up, blah, 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 blah. You should not have done this shit to me, people. What am I talking about she did to me? Stealing that dog is going to cost you your dreams. Like you took one of mine, I'll take yours also. People, I was pissed. My dreams, wow, that's powerful. And I want that juicer back. I never gave it to you, people. She borrowed my juicer, and you don't deserve it. That's love. Love endures all things. Now, people, look at what she says after this, people. This is the important part. Love endures all things. Love endures all things. What am I getting back? You still have my time. So people, I couldn't have my stuff back because she felt like I gave her time in a freaking relationship. And people, that's why I got deaded on the dog. That's why I got deaded on the business. That's why I got deaded on my juicer. That's why I got deaded on any property that was in her possession when we broke up. People, I didn't want her. I didn't deserve my stuff back. And I showed all of this to the police. This is what the DA's office got when they had to drop my charges, people. They got the whole day's conversation and saw what really happened. Not just, and let's go back here for everyone who doesn't want to believe me, because you saw that already, not just, they didn't just see this. Excuse me. They didn't just see this. They saw the entire conversation. Everything that happened with Francina Evans, they saw that day. Everything. Why the hell is this? Why are they doing this? That's really weird. Okay, hold on. I don't understand. Why don't you just do that? Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm wrong. They didn't see just that, people. They saw, let's go back. They saw this. Oh, that was enough. That's enough right there. Remember, I told you, people, it takes numerous aspects of law enforcement to frame a person. So, people, this is what happened. The cop gave this to the DA. The DA crafted this in the legal narrative necessary for a judge to read it. And then the judge saw this. And, people, that was enough that once I was brought before the court for an I-card, they could detain me. Now, people, let's talk about what an I-card is. Let's take a brief break to discuss what an actual I-card's purpose is. Because I believe that's very important, people. Very. What is an I-card? An I-card is an investigative tool, people. An I-card is not a warrant. A warrant is issued by a judge because you present probable cause to a judge, and that probable cause is enough to substantiate to a judge that a warrant for your detention is necessary. An I-card is not that. An I-card doesn't even take the power of a judge to issue. A police sergeant issues an I-card based off the statement of his officer. So, people, this is the most corrupt tool that the NYPD has used to control and regulate law enforcement in the city. It's given them the ability that they don't have to wait for a judge's warrant anymore. They can themselves allege a verbal allegation against you with no probable cause and get their sergeant to sign off on it. And this is what Detective Joseph Quirk did to me. He falsified the complaint against me, and then he went to his He went to his supervisor with the story of Francina Evans and said, issue a warrant for this guy. He never told the supervisor there was an elder protection against her. He just said, I need an I card against this guy because he's a past violent criminal and this girl is scared for her life. And see, that's how racist and biased people manipulate actions against you in law enforcement. They'll use your past criminal history and they'll use your minority status or your gender status or your nationality to make you appear to be a bigger threat than you are. And people, I was no threat. I didn't want anything to do with Francina Evans. So let's go back to the discovery packet. So we talked about the March 18, 2022 allegation that this detective falsified and repurposed into a complaint for the 120 to make it appear as though I did all of this stuff there and it was a new investigation, which it wasn't. That's one. And I want to go back and I want to read the next part of his charging instrument, which I feel is very, very important. Where did that go? I'm all over the place, people. All right, it's right here. Here we go. So the next statement of Detective Joseph Quirk. Deponent is further informed that the respondent engaged in a course of conduct directed at the informant and causing harm to the informant's emotional health, in that on June 16th and July 8th, 2002, the defendant posted multiple Facebook pictures mentioning the defendant's name. Now, people, I can mention anybody's name who I fucking want. That's not harassment. But here's the thing, people. If we look at the discovery he submitted to substantiate the June 16th and the July 8th contact, let's go. Now, people, here's my post from June 16th. I ran a 14-mile marathon for my mother. Not one time in this post do I mention the name Francina Evans in name. I never say her name, and I'm going to read it to you, people. Day 10 of Remembering Maggie. Things always seem to get heavy before God blesses you with something important. Last few days, my spirit has been low. The devil is busy, and evil people don't take breaks when their aim is destruction and revenge. I'm talking about Francina, but I never say her name. Too strong to let weak liar beat me. Francina. Major victory in, I didn't say her name, but I am talking about her. This is why I'm saying it. Too strong to let a weak liar beat me. Major victory in court when the judge ordered my dog returned. But the devil and the thief refuses to own the wrong and return the dog. Now, people, I never say her name. We're 3 paragraphs in. I'm angry. I'm hurt because I trusted this person who has robbed me blind and lied through their teeth. But praise God for patience and growth. Ran 14 for you today, mama, and I thank you for the lessons, and I know you are with me and always, and allow that judge to see and the judge correct and see and judge correctly in ordering the return of the dog. 4 paragraphs, people. I've never said her name. He mentioned this post in his criminal complaint, stating that I said her name. People, I never said her name. Let's continue. You'd be proud of me. I ran off the raids today, 14 miles for you. I know we'll beat the devil together because you're with me. You're always with me. I'll never lose. Sleep in peace. 14 miles today, 2 hours, 30 minutes. People, nowhere in this post do I state the name of Francina Evans. Let's go to July 8th. July 8th, I posted a transcript from a judge in New Jersey that ordered her to return my property. This is the judge's words, people. I didn't say a word. I never said a name. How the hell did this detective write this comment? Let's go back. How did this detective write this second paragraph claiming that on June 16th and July 8th, I said this woman's name? When in the June 16th discovery he submitted, you never see the name of Francina Evans anywhere in the 6 paragraphs of that post. And on July 8th, I'm not the person who says her name. The judge, the criminal court judge, who ordered her to return the property using the New York State order of protection that currently existed against her, is the one who said her name. People, how did Joseph Quirk create a statement where he alleges that on 2 separate days, I made Facebook posts and stated her name and submitted posts that don't have her name in it? The one post that has her name is stated by a judge in writing in a public records document of a court hearing. People, how the hell did I get arrested? I'm going to tell you how. Because Joseph Quirk is a racist and a corrupt detective. He had to frame me. He had to use words in writing to convict me for physical proof that never existed, people. See, here's the truth. Staten Island knew it was no way in hell they was going to win this order of protection once I showed them this. The entire day's language with myself and Francina Evans to contradict that one piece of a small snippet of a conversation she sent to them. People, I sent them the whole conversation with the date it started, which was 3/13/2022. not March 18th. Now, people, there's another important point you need to know, and we're going to share this screen. And I'm taking you to my Gmail account. Let's go. So we're going to talk about the March 18, 2022 allegations that was used to arrest me, alleging that I violated an order of protection. This is the initial petition from the Richmond County Court of Francina Evans. As you see, the petitioner, Francina Evans, she don't live there no more, so it's okay. So these were the allegations she checked off against me, audience. She accused me of disorderly conduct, harassment in the first and second degree, aggravated harassment in the second, assault in the second and third degree, criminal mischief, strangulation, identity theft in the first, second, and third degree, coercion in the second degree, menacing in the second and third degree, reckless endangerment, stalking, attempted assault, forcible touching, criminal obstruction of breathing or circulation. That means I choked her. Grand larceny in the second or third degree. She's trying to say I stole something from her. And unlawful dissemination of public images. So she tells the court that on March 14th, the respondent messaged the petitioner the words to the effect of, I'm going to put your naked pictures up next, and I'm going to show you true pain and hate. The petitioner took these serious threats. As a result of the incident, the petitioner was left feeling alarmed and afraid. March 3rd, 2022, the respondent sent a text message to petitioner saying to the words of effects, you're going to get punched in your face. Punched in your mouth. People, she was threatening my infant daughter. I told her she keeps threatening the mother of my child, who I now realize is a lying fucking coward, with a punch down her mouth. I was wrong about that, because the mother of my child is a coward. She would have never punched this girl in the mouth. She doesn't care about her own daughter enough to do anything. The simple fact of the matter is I have sworn testimony from one of her ex-girlfriends that she was trying to have sex with Francina, and her and Francina were actually talking regularly because Francina is bisexual. I didn't know this, people, but I know for a fact it happened with my daughter's mother, because my daughter's mother has confessed to it on tape, and so has her ex-girlfriend who talks to me now. People, there was a massive conspiracy to destroy my life, and I'm after justice, not vengeance. So, January 2022, the petitioner respondent was at the respondent's home in Staten Island, and the petitioner observed the respondent hit one of their dogs on the head with his open palm while feeding it. As a result of this incident, the petitioner was left feeling alarmed and fearing for her safety, as well as the safety of her pets. Now, people, neither of the pets was hers. My dog Gucci was my mother's. The girl dog that I just showed you the receipt for was mine. But these are the weak-ass allegations that this girl created in the family court of Staten Island just to be granted an order of protection against me, people, because like I've told you, the family court will give an order of protection to a damn ham sandwich against a piece of lettuce. They don't care. They don't need actual criminality. They just need an allegation. All we do by supporting the family court of New York or any state is keep unqualified people working who are completely unethical, because this should never have been granted. None of these truly substantiated domestic offense, but guess what? With the physical aspects of domestic violence that she put on this, it did substantiate a domestic violence offense, people. With all of this stuff you see in this section, it did. Now I want to show you something else before I go. Oh, actually, I want to show you the date before we further. The date it was signed. May 19th of 2022, people. May 19th of 2022, Francina Evans filed for this order of protection. Now, let's go to ChatGPT, because we want to ask ChatGPT a question, people. I'm sorry, I'm getting a call. I am supposed to be at work, but they don't mess with me because I'm lit. Okay. They know about my fight for justice. They good. Like, people who really mess with you, bro, they let you rock because they know what you're going through. And that's kind of what happened to me. So I'm thankful that I work for a company that they respect the fact that I'm fighting for my civil rights, because civil rights are important. So we're going to ask ChatGPT a question. I forgot how we're going to pose the question. Let me look back at my screen to remember what I was saying. I remember now. We're going to ask ChatGPT, in New York State, can a protected party, I like using the regular terms, can a protected party of a general order of protection use an allegation which was reported before the temporary order was petitioned for and granted to report a violation to the order and have the defendant arrested. So let's read our question, people, so it makes sense to our entire audience. Make sure my audience can see this. I got to check back in. Good. So here's our question in ChatGPT. In New York State, can a protected party, oh, I wrote party twice. Oh, we got to fix that, people. I don't know how I did that. I'm definitely working on my proofreading skills, people. I speed so much, my proofreading is horrible. In New York State, can a protected party of a general order of protection use an allegation which was reported before the temporary order of protection was petitioned for or and granted to report a violation to the order and have the defendant arrested? So we're going to ask ChatGPT that. Basically, what we're asking is, can you be arrested for a violation to an order of protection if the violation was reported for an event that happened before the order of protection was ever issued? That's the question. No. They said I didn't ask, can they report? So I have to re-ask this question because I must have asked it wrong, because it says a protected party under a general order of protection can report a violation based on an incident that occurred before a temporary was ordered, providing the violation occurred after. Oh, no, this is right. Yes, in New York State, a protected party under a general order of protection can report a violation based on an incident that occurred before the temporary order was issued, provided that the violation occurred after the order was granted and served. So, people, let's think about this, people. Let's think about this. Let's go back to Detective Joseph Quirk. Let's go back to him. Now, people, as you see again, this order of protection is dated May 19th of 2022, right? That's the day that the order of protection was active and went into an effect. I was not served with this order, physically presented with this order until June 16th of 2022. So people, a month after this order was issued, the police caught up with me in New Jersey. They called me and told me. I didn't know, so I met up with them. I took the order. I said, thank you. I had no reason to run from the cops. It's the order of protection. I knew she was going to do that. So I go to the police, the Essex County Sheriff. I pick up the order on June 16th. I picked this order. Actually, it might have been June 12th. June 12th, about a month after, I pick up the order of protection. So people, technically speaking, based off what ChatGPT has said right here, I can't be arrested until the order has been granted and served upon me for an old order allegation. She can't report something that happened months before she ever got the order of protection and then go and try to get me arrested for it after the order is granted. That's not true. That's a lie. But guess what, people? Detective Joseph Quirk, in the capacity to be the racist piece of shit he is, and I'm going to curse for that one because that's exactly what he is, he decides to lie to the court and not notify the court when the order of protection actually went into their face. He just uses the order number and tells the court that I violated this order. He doesn't tell them that this allegation happened 3 months before the order of protection was issued and thereby is illegal and I can't be arrested for it, people, because again, the purpose of my arrest on May 16th of 2022 and the purpose of the report in the iCard of 12/7 of 2022 was so that I would be detained to protect the reputation of Francina Evans in the Richmond County DA's office that had stepped up and publicly backed her as a victim of domestic violence, knowing she was not. So Detective Joseph Quirk decided to frame me, people, and he framed me by falsifying these documents based off an order of protection he knew had been granted months after her initial complaint. Because, people, we have to be honest. The strongest allegation. Yeah, did I X out of that? I might have X'd out of that, people. Oh, crap. All right, hold on a second. I got to go back in. My bad. All right. The strongest allegation. Give me 1 second. Boop, boop, boop. Right there. The strongest allegation in this entire disparate criminal complaint of Joseph Quirk is the first allegation of the naked pictures. That's the strongest allegation, people. But that allegation right there violates my procedural due process. Because how do you arrest me for this happening when the order was granted 3 months before this happened? After this happened, You can't arrest me for that. But people, if you're a racist scumbag and a biased detective on Staten Island, with the district attorney has a hard on for the black man that you're trying to arrest people, you can do anything like Disneyland. You could easily frame a man when the district attorney wants to frame him also, and that's what Joseph Quirk did to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have touched the bases of what happened to me. I think I've covered it all because I didn't plan on being more than an hour today, and we're at 51 minutes. So let's exercise. Excuse me. So that was part two to how Detective Quirk framed me, because he did frame me, ladies and gentlemen. He 100% framed me. Joseph Quirk framed me as a victim of domestic violence. He falsified that complaint using allegations that had already been dismissed in another precinct and that had been tried to use by another racist detective, Michael LeVay, to have me arrested. Once Michael LeVay was investigated for racial profiling, that arrest wouldn't work. So they had to dismiss that I-card against me, and then Detective Quirk used the allegations from Michael LeVay, backing up his brother in blue who couldn't score the arrest against the nigga he wanted to arrest, to get that nigga arrested in the 120. And people, I use the word nigga because that's how these white men look at me. I'm just a nigga with no rights. I'm just a nigga who doesn't deserve to be a victim of anything, people, even though I have a federally protected, trial-ordered order of protection against the girl Staten Island believes is so much of a victim. Poor Francina Evans. Francina Evans is scum, people. She's a pathological liar. She's a deceitful, manipulative scum of a liar, people. She lies through her teeth. She manipulated thousands of people to support a brand that I owned, and she separated the brand so she would make money. And gullible men who want to put their penis in her would support the brand. Gullible men and lesbians and man haters who don't like men who supposedly beat women. So, people, I'm showing you for a fact that the business this woman told you I tried to steal, I actually own. I've also showed you text messages where I offered to give her the business, and she just gave me back my damn dog and repaid me for the startup cost of the digital portion of the company, $1,000. People, she had made the money. Pay it to me so I can start something else for my mother, who you claim you love so much and who was your mentor, people. People, this is how this girl got me to pay for the business. She lied and told me my mother was her mentor, and she just wanted to do things for the church and the community to honor my late mother. Oh, baby, I'll so donate 10% to your mother if you pay for this, because I loved your mother. Your mother was my mentor. I never charged her for anything, people. Can you imagine how hurt I was when I saw in my mother's phone that my mother had paid this girl hundreds of dollars for products and she lied to my damn face? People, no one cares about the pain and the trauma of a man who realizes the woman he loves is a pathological liar. That doesn't mean anything, people. The only thing that means something is how we respond to them. If they're arguing with us and we curse them out, people, we're verbally abusive. Forget the fact that she might be a manipulative piece of crap because she's been lying on me about my recently deceased mother. None of that matters, people. The only thing that matters is I cursed at her. People, I'm falsely arrested for false allegations I have just showed hundreds of people are false. I owned the business. I never assaulted her. All of it, people. Oh my God, I'm so afraid of him. I lied on him about this business and stole 20 grand from him. People, I'm afraid of him because he's so angry. And the racist white off power structure of Staten Island came a running. People, I got robbed by that girl when she falsified documents to relieve the business bank accounts of money, lying, saying she was the only owner. People, you know how that happened? Because Staten Island refused to charge her for falsifying documents against me and for trying to coerce me out of my shares of the business. I've taught my audience about civil procedure and civil rights statutes when your rights are violated. We've talked about the civil rights statute of 42 United States Code 1983. We've talked about 1985, which is the conspiracy statute. We've also talked about 42 United States Code 1986, which is a failure to intervene. Audience, people, if I, as a victim of a crime, am being stalked by an ex who's using false reports and vexatious litigation to harass me, and the district attorney's office is fully aware of the criminal conduct of this person and does nothing, and this person does things to violate my rights, people, that's a failure That's a failure to intervene pursuant to 42 United States Code 1986, which is a failure to intervene. Basically, you're stopping justice from happening because of your bias and racism, and you're allowing another party to deprive me of my civil rights, which is protection from double jeopardy of accusations, which is equal protection under law, which is granted to the 14th Amendment, which is due process under law, granted under the 6th Amendment of the Constitution. People, because of the actions of Francina Evans, my civil rights were violated in numerous constitutional statutes. My First Amendment rights were violated, being arrested for putting public information up about police misconduct. People, I'm protected by that from the First Amendment. How did Detective Quirk arrest me for a report that is public records and where I never say this woman's name? People, Detective Quirk violated my First Amendment rights. He violated my Fourth Amendment rights by falsely arresting me. He violated my Sixth Amendment rights by interfering with my due process by falsifying information against me. And he violated my 14th Amendment rights by failing to grant me, as the victim of a domestic violence restraining order, with equal protection under law, which is pursuant to the Constitution. People, the NYPD, Detective Joseph Quirk, framed me as a black man and a victim of domestic violence to empower a black woman who the office wanted to market as a marketable victim because she was pretty. Mike McMahon's office is corrupt. Detective Joseph Quirk is corrupt. And Clayton Howard is the water that is going to wash the muck off of the corruption in law enforcement. So, people, with 56 minutes and 30 seconds, I thank you for watching. This was part 2 of how Joseph Quirk framed me for allegations against Francina Evans by using allegations previously dismissed from another precinct to refile in a 120 in retaliation for me winning a New Jersey final federally protected order of protection, which had lifetime conditions and a 1,000-foot stay away against Francina Evans, which was issued to myself and my daughter. People, how was this woman honored for National Crime Victims' Rights Week in 2023 with 3 orders of protection on her, with a criminal indictment, with allegations of child abuse on her in the Brooklyn Family Court? People, how did Francina Evans get honored? I'm going to tell you how. Because the racially systemic system of Staten Island buried the truth in order to create a black woman who they believed was a marketable victim. So they decided to deceive the entire community of Staten Island using social media by propping up the offender and trying to bury the victim. And they're not going to get away with it. Michael McMahon, I am coming. You are going to answer for what you did to me. If you don't have the integrity as a man, as someone who claims to be an ethical servant of the law, to own and correct the mistake you made, I have the strength and the will to attack you and the credibility of your office. Every day I have a spare damn second until I expose you for the corruption of yourself, Darren Albanese, Courtney Chase, Gabrielle Giovinazzo, Andrew Crawford, Mackenzie Upshaw, Lisa Tomlinson, and Andrew Crawford. You are all corrupt. You knew Clayton Howard was the victim of the domestic dispute with Francina Evans, but instead you uplifted her, you empowered her, and you came after me and you tried to destroy my life. But fuck that. Excuse me. I'm going to curse right there. I'm not the one of the two, people, and you're going to find out. People, on behalf of justice and a mother who loved me, who believed in the civil rights of everyone and that people should know their civil rights, I continue her legacy by educating you about the racism and systemic problems on Staten Island and also educating you in the civil law. So if you have anything where the police have set you up, baby, you know what 1983 is, 1985, and 1986. There's also 1981. We'll do a podcast about that because that kind of pulls 1985, 1983, and 1986 together under the civil rights statutes. But we can talk about that another time. People, they fucked up. They attacked the wrong black man who was not afraid to open a damn book. And I'm going to show them just how wise and how smart I can actually be. On behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, people, this was Clayton, signing off on a great broadcast, a great day, and fighting justice against the racism and the oppression of Mike McMahon, the Staten Island District Attorney, excuse me for stuttering, and his co-conspirators who conspired to deprive me of my civil rights by falsely arresting me and depriving me of federally granted resources to domestic violence victims. Those people were Pastor Lieutenant Victor Allen Brown, Detective Joseph Quirk, Detective Matthew De Palma, I think it's Joseph De Palma, whatever. Detective De Palma, Courtney Chase, Mackenzie Upshaw, Lisa Thompson, Gabrielle Giovinazzo, and Andrew Crawford. Those are the co-conspirators, people. Those are the people in the Staten Island law enforcement circle who violated my civil rights. And every one of them is going to answer one way or another. Justice is about persistence and patience, people. And I've gotten both in the last couple of years. On behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, take care and enjoy your day. I hope this was really informative to my audience because I have